It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out. We got ourselves here a great ensemble of guests. We have Tanner Chin, Troy motherfucking Win, and yours truly, Jason Owen McDonald.
Is McDonald a Scottish name?
Oh,
Is
McDonald.
McDonald's a Scottish company?
No, anything Mick is Irish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I,
you
not
got
to be
the-
racist, but I can never tell the difference between Scottish and Irish.
There is a huge difference.
Yeah.
They hate
they're-
each
they're-
other.
Yeah. They're
There
all
is
on
a difference.
the same island,
Are they on the same island? No.
right?
I trust me, I really do
They're
not
all
know.
part of the United Kingdom. That's all I got.
No, some of them aren't a part of the United Kingdom anymore.
Ireland is. Oh, well, Ireland and Scotland are part of the United Kingdom.
They're their own country. I don't think you know the geography or the political climate that's going on in our country, and I think
Yeah, but
it's very.
United Kingdom isn't a country. It's a collection of countries.
You're a collection of ugly. But
Thanks, man.
Got him.
so it was Thanksgiving weekend for everyone. I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving. I know Troy did. He actually had a conventional, regular Thanksgiving.
I met with my family. My family has very high traditional holiday values. If I may say.
Yes,
So
very.
Thanksgiving is very important. Christmas is very important.
Yes.
And then when Jason told me he wasn't really going home for the holidays, that was very new to me because where I came from, like everyone's family thought was important. So Jason's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay here, and I was like, what? So that was a new like perspective for me.
Yeah,
to look at.
no. Like Thanksgiving and most holidays aren't really a big deal, in my family. And that's just how I was raised, and maybe it's just it just makes it easier for me. In the long run, I think so. Like, I don't have
So,
I don't have any
you don't have any
expectations.
expectations?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
that's
have.
so sad.
Wait a minute.
Wait a
So
minute.
sad. You're
I had
children.
expectations, and I
What
was
if,
sad.
what if you like subconsciously have this cold heart that's never felt holiday warmth?
I
And
mean-
then you are unable to pass that until your children.
Oh, I felt it before. I know. I remember. I've had that Christmas where, it's so memorable. Like I still remember the most memorable Christmas, which was like when I was 3, and I remember like, all of us were sleeping in our parents' bedroom, and we wake up at like 7:30 a.m. Christmas Eve, and we're like, oh God, so tired. We walk out and we walk into our living room, and like the entire living room is packed with toys and stuff because my dad and I guess my mom went to Toys R Us that night and like bought like almost everything. And I remember getting like sock 'em bop or bop 'em, whatever they were called, those
Sock 'em Bob.
That's pretty high value.
sock 'em boppers, and then I remember like blowing them up, punching everyone like fuck you, and then like I got a skateboard. I got one of those like ding 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 ding.
Is
Xylophone?
Xylophone, but for like kids.
Oh my god! I got one of those, dude.
You think I'd? Of all things, I would know the xylophone. Yes, but
No, but I feel like by now you would know. I don't
Yeah,
expect
it's
you
like the one X word that you learn as a kid.
X-ray,
Oh.
X,
I guess.
XX is another one I learned.
Rest in peace.
I don't know that one. But yeah, that's.
Sorry. All right, go ahead. Tell me more about your childhood Christmas.
That's basically the most memorable Christmas I've had, and it's something I will eventually like be able to pass on to my kids whenever I eventually have one.
Give them the same things that you were given. Give them the sock and boppums. Give them the xylophone. And
Oh
the
hell
X-ray.
no, they don't get to experience that.
Oh.
No, they give them a toothpick and a fortune cookie.
And some flowers.
Yeah, let them
No,
know.
some kids might actually like that. It's crazy.
An avocado.
Yeah.
A banana.
I don't know. I don't know how unfortunate you'd have to be like, man, I got toothpicks for Christmas. Like I can understand socks, because like getting socks when I was younger, I was like, shit, that sucks. But there's probably someone out there that doesn't have any socks. But a toothpick, I don't know. It's definitely not on anybody's list.
What if the
Uh,
child's really creative and they like arts and crafts
what if
and stuff?
the child has like these crooked ass teeth, and they
Hell,
I
always
don't
get
think the
food.
toothpaste gonna solve that.
Yeah, I don't.
No, food is always trapped in their teeth, and for the last 6 months it's been collecting, and they can't get it out,
All right, well that's gross. Let's talk about something else.
and they couldn't even afford a toothbrush, so every day
What kind of scenario is this?
every day the parents work so hard. When they went out to dinner every night, they grabbed one toothpick and saved it.
And saved it for their kid and put it in their stocking. Like, this is for you.
In 6 months of collecting those toothpicks.
The heck? This is one of those like deep old YouTube videos where the end has like a big twist. No, it's one of those sad Thailand commercials,
Oh my
Those
god.
parents, they like sacrifice all the money, and at the end the child was so ungrateful, and then after the parents die they see a jar that they saved up for their child, and then they're like and then at the end it's like buy life insurance.
Yeah, dude, they can really sell insurance over there, man. Okay. Jason used to sell life insurance a
Yeah,
couple
that's
years
right. That's right. 2 years ago.
for Northwestern,
You
right?
know,
And that was
let's not name drop. Okay.
oh, sorry, Southwestern.
Southwestern.
So, something on the compass, one of the directions.
Yeah.
Southeastern.
I feel like if you had pulled that kind of stunt where you're just like
Where
I don't know if you could put on a voice show for them that makes them feel like
tug their
parents-
heartstrings.
Yeah. Make them
You just had to channel your inner Wong Fu.
Listen, I'm not a salesman.
But you're a videographer.
Uh,
You can make that content that will make them want it.
Yeah, I show.
Yeah, just send all your clients videos.
Send them a video of a parent collecting toothpicks.
In the arms of an angel.
But do you guys? So both of you guys had like high expectations for Christmas, or you've always had like with the traditional Christmas?
I would say I did have pretty high expectations because my family always gave me like really like nice gifts every year.
Is it just about gifts to you, Troy? Are you that
It's
materialistic?
What
still
about Jesus
might be,
Christ?
because now I feel because of all those years of really nice gifts that not just I got from my family, but my large family. So each person is giving me a really nice gift. I feel so pressured to like give it back this year now that I have my first job.
Oh wow.
So like
Have you already started picking out gifts?
not fully yet, just like concepts in my head. A couple people already know what I want to get, which is nice. It's really nice when you know what you want to get someone.
Yeah.
But there's still some people where I got to make some more choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Tanner, did you have a traditional?
Yeah.
Always
Like
put
similar
up
to
a-
you, I guess,
You always
Jason.
put up a
Like I
tree?
would,
Oh.
oh yeah, we put up a tree. No, but not that I lost all my Christmas spirit like you. But I'm saying that
I'm the
when I was
Grinch.
younger, we used to.
Way to put it in such
You
a
know.
bad way. I lost my Christmas spirit.
You have no Christmas
They
spirit,
should
man. You
make
have
a
no
movie
holidays.
on me.
The Asian Grinch.
Yeah. It'll be just like you'll be Stooge.
Scrooge.
And, Scrooge,
You know-
Stooge, Scrooge. Same shit. Troy will come haunt you in your sleep. And yeah, I just remember like staying up, sleeping on the couch, and waiting for my parents to come in. I guess at that point I kind of already knew that
There was no Santa.
there was no Santa, but
Oh my god.
I still enjoyed getting gifts. But my parents would always put gifts inside of like unassuming bags or something like so that like my mom works for a glasses company, so she'd put her gifts inside of these like little tote bags that say like Gucci or something on it, but it'd be like nothing related to like eyewear or anything super fancy. But yeah, actually when I was younger I used to get all the Game Boy handheld systems. So every year when they come out with like a new Game Boy Advance or SP or something like that,
You would
I'd
get one every year?
Yeah. Whoa.
well, like whenever it would come out, and then
Bruh.
we'd also, my sister and I would get the different versions of Pokemon. So I got Sapphire,
Wait,
she
that's
got
so
Ruby
cool.
or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't that privileged, you asshole. Way to rub it in.
Yeah, man. And then, yeah,
I got an
so-
Xbox.
You got an Xbox?
Yeah,
I got an
Xbox.
Xbox 1 year.
Recon armor.
I remember. Do you remember your first console?
It was Xbox. I remember, sneaking out of my room at like 4 a.m. Walked under the Christmas tree, I'm seeing that Xbox box, and I'm reading, checking out all the games on the back. It was like the Old Republic, Halo, and I'm like, my Xbox comes with all these games on it already. And I'm like, can't wait to open it. And then when I opened it, there was no game. Oh no, there was this one. It was Jet Set Radio Future, which was like a skating game, a skating spray painting.
Not
game.
even Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
No, but this game, it's like Grand Theft Auto, like an open world, but it was not. You don't actually kill anyone. You just.
I was gonna say, do you just go around and skate on people, just like smack people with your skateboard?
Yeah, that's literally all I did. And I remember thinking it was a PS2, even though the box said like Xbox. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I went back in the bed. I'm like,
I know what I'm getting. I remember one of the first consoles I got, besides getting a Nintendo 64. After my Nintendo 64, I got a PS2, and our PS2 is modded so that you could burn games onto like regular CDs and then put them in play.
Mine too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I had Dynasty Warriors 3 on it.
Dude, I had a whole book, like those CD books that you just put them in the CD. I had a whole book, like 3 of those full of games. And I probably played like 2 of them, but yeah, one of them was Sonic. But what about you, Troy?
So I have very, very small memories of like my sisters and me playing like PlayStation 1 and then a little bit of Nintendo 64. But I would say those don't really count because I didn't use them that much or I don't remember them that much. So my first real one was the GameCube. And that really had a big effect on my life for sure. Like I played that a lot and I always tried to like learn from those games like morals and stories or whatever. And my favorite character,
because your parents weren't there for you.
No. I mean that's kind of true.
Oh shit!
That was
Jason.
I'm gaming in our Ocean Oriental store where a lot of their time is busy running the store and talking with customers and stuff. So I'm just chilling in the back on the TV, just like playing these games for like the whole day after I get home from school.
Well, then I'm so sorry.
So yeah, your joke was real, and it cut open my wounds.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just singing a song.
I have a similar experience because my parents, they used to run a bike shop. So as soon as I got home from school, this was like back in like kindergarten, first, second, third. I would go back to my parents' bike shop and wait till they finished work, and then we'd go home from there, and we wouldn't get out until like 8 or something around that time. So I'd be in the back of the shop, and I'd just be watching there was like 2 or 3 movies that we watched on repeat. One of them was Madeline.
Madeline.
The other was Madeline. The other one was Matilda, and the last one was Pokemon 2000.
And actually, 2000.
There was another one, and it had like Ronald McDonald, but it was like real. So it was like the actual guy in the clown costume.
I think you just watched the commercial, dude.
Dude, honestly, it might have actually been a commercial.
That's so funny.
You just watched the commercial on repeat.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. No, there was a scene in Pokemon 2000 where Professor Oak is climbing up a rock or something, and he falls down. He says, "Ah, my butt!" And I don't know. I guess like 7-year-old me thought that was the funniest shit. So I just like replayed that shit over and over again.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, great.
So I had home movies like of my family growing up, and they're all on VHS tapes. And
were they on the mini VHS?
No, the big ones. No, the big
VHS?
ones. The big ones. What? And this was around when I was like 9, and Proud Family was like big, and there was no DVR was like like TiVo. Remember what TiVo was the thing, where you could save the shows that you're watching, and we were like,
that was revolutionary.
That was revolutionary. So we didn't have TiVo, so we had blank VHS tapes where we record, tape our shows, and I taped over one of our home movies with Proud Family.
And how precious was this tape that you lost? Like, how much footage of family time and what were you guys doing?
I don't even remember, but I think it was like time at the beach together. My 3rd birthday.
Because you wanted to watch Proud Family.
And like I didn't even get much of Proud Family. I got mainly like the fucking commercials. And then it just like skips to the part where like they're like,
it was a waste.
It was such a waste.
They're blowing out the candles.
As they're about to say, "I love you." And then they cut it, and then it's like sassy Penny Proud over there, like fuck you guys.
Your dad sheds one single silent tear as he sits on the couch.
This was my family.
Wow, he should have taken better care with it.
Shouldn't have left it out for.
Yeah,
his
I was 8.
little son.
Yeah, so you couldn't be
8
responsible.
is old enough to know better, man.
No, you're not. I could
But
have.
how old do you think the age of responsibility is? Like
Where-
you're like, okay, I'm this old, I know what's right and wrong.
I think by about 12, 13. I think I had a good head on my shoulders around that point, where I knew my morals and my responsibilities, and not to be a shit asshole to society.
Dude, I felt like I hit that really young at like 6 or 7.
It's that Jesus
Yeah.
class.
I guess
think
so.
at a pretty early age, I tried to be pretty good. Like even when we were at grocery stores. So if I was at a grocery store with my mom and my aunt or something like that, and my aunt was getting ready to leave and she was already walking out, I would like stand, and my mom was still paying. I would stand like equidistant from both of them to make sure that like no one gets left behind, kind of thing. So like I was always just like watching out for like the other person, be like, okay, wait, we gotta wait for my mom or something like that.
And then you started smoking weed.
Yeah, well, where did you
I was still a good person at that.
Where did I go wrong?
But I think that you learn. I don't know about most people, but I think generally, I feel like it's pretty easy to distinguish what's right and what's wrong if you grow up in a pretty average household.
Do you think you were overall a good person?
Me?
Yeah, I mean everyone. If you
Did you say were or are?
are,
Oh.
do you think?
What do you think makes a good person?
I don't know. It depends on your. I want to hear your point of view. It's not. We're not doing it on my metrics. We're doing it on your own like self evaluation of yourself.
Okay. I'll let Troy start because I gotta
All right.
think about this.
I think I'm a good person.
Whoa, big guy over here.
And I would say my evidence is that
It's uncanny.
I treat most people with respect, and I usually try to help people as well. And as you know, I like to resolve conflict between two people. Like if you guys just start going off on something, I'm like, hey guys, we're all friends here.
Let's take it easy.
I'll pull one of those. Anything else? In terms of the law, I like follow the law. Anything else?
A good upstanding citizen.
Do you think that there's a correlation between following a person that's a law-abiding person and a good person?
No, have you not seen
I
law-abiding citizen?
I think there's a small correlation, but I wouldn't say it's that strong. There's definitely a lot of law abiders that are like just horrible people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they go to work and they don't speed, but they're just a horrible person and they're mean and disrespectful.
Yeah.
And then they just drive home from work and then they just chill at home. Like,
Yeah, have you not seen
That's pretty
no,
awful.
like law-abiding citizen is like literally a clear example of this, where it's like, this guy, his whole family gets like murdered, and then the murderer gets like acquitted or something, and justice couldn't save his family, so he took it upon himself to,
It sounds like the
Dexter.
premise to Punisher,
Oh.
the Marvel character.
Yeah, I know who the Punisher is, but like point is like, yeah, just because you're a law-abiding citizen doesn't make you a good person. And like I'm sure, like even though I break,
How does that prove that?
because like he followed the laws. He went through.
It doesn't mean that shitty things won't happen.
He went to a certain degree to like do this right by the law, and like he went to a lawyer, he got through a judge and everything, and this guy still ended up not facing justice. So he's like, okay, I need to start taking it upon myself.
I don't know if that's okay.
That's
All right,
how that's how I view it. It's a good movie.
All right.
But the point is like, I mean, I don't feel like laws dignify or
Isn't that kind of messed up? Because the purpose of well, I don't know.
I don't think
know
the purpose of law is to make you a good person. It's
Yeah.
to keep things like.
But aren't laws supposed to be based on some sort of ethics?
No, I don't think. I don't.
No?
I don't think all laws are. The law is telling me
yeah, I
I
mean,
can't
it's
walk
unethical to
backwards and
steal,
eat ice
right?
cream. Is not based
Stealing is both illegal and unethical, you know?
hmm Well, I was more referring. I guess I was referring to the fact that aren't laws supposed to be guided by ethics?
Not
So like,
necessarily. I think
Not necessarily, but they can.
yes. I
They
think
can.
it's not. It's like it's not.
you don't think it's a requisite?
Yeah, I think it's completely
A
tied to each other.
prerequisite.
It's not a one for one thing.
Do you think that they should be tied together?
It
Do you think the
depends.
laws should shape us into being good people, or I mean, it's
Everything
all
should be
about
viewed
promoting.
on a case by case basis. You view it one by one. Should this one be based on this? Yes. Okay, next. Should this one be based on this?
I think
Next.
I think there should be laws that that make you that kind of like keep up our ethical like behaviors, but I don't think all laws should be about ethics.
Okay, give me an example, because I'm having a hard time wrapping my head
Okay,
around.
so Jason, give him an example of a law that is not really tied to a moral or ethic. It's just a law.
Smoking weed.
Oh.
Okay, right, yeah. See, okay, so yeah, that's why I'm saying it's fucked up. Like that shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I'm
There
saying,
shouldn't be a law. There shouldn't be a law about,
Yeah.
about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
but I'm
I'm
saying
asking
that
you-
I'm saying that
give
is
me-
a law though. That is a
Okay, right. But I actually wanted an example of a law or something that should be a law that isn't guided by ethics. Because you said that you don't think that laws necessarily should be guided by ethics. That you didn't think that laws like ethics were.
There are laws that like dictate like how you go about doing buying a home or setting up a business, or just tax laws.
Yeah, but even those things are based on some sort of foundation of ethics. It's like, yeah, if you want to buy a house, you shouldn't screw over the other people that live in that area, or you shouldn't do this or that. Like, there's certain things that are like kind of fundamental to it that you don't really think about, explicitly, but you're just like, okay, yeah, I can see why that's a law because I wouldn't want to harm other people's interests.
Well, now
Okay.
you know how weak my argument was because I 100% side with you.
I was just kidding the whole time.
This is like the change my view Reddit where someone posts a delta symbol like you've changed my mind. Everyone claps in the chat like.
Yeah.
What about parking? I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I'm just blurring it out. Parking, like parking infractions, or you can't park here. Is that tied
Yeah,
to some form of
fucking-
ethic or moral? I know you do.
Drinking
Yeah.
and driving, I think that's
Well, I definitely think that's
Okay,
I don't think that people should be drinking and driving, and I think
you don't condone it.
and I don't condone it. And that
Good.
is very true. I don't condone it
Yeah,
for sure.
You just let it happen.
I
But he
didn't let
doesn't
it
condone
happen. Okay, I didn't know it was happening. Okay,
I
Okay, maybe
was impaired as well. I
Yeah.
couldn't have made a conscious decision.
Oh no, Tanner.
All right, we're not gonna get into that. Okay, I'm not saying that my moral record is spotless.
So this goes back. Are you a good
Objectively
person?
As if you were a judge. Yeah.
This goes back. Are
No
you
longer
a-
Tanner Chin. You're Judge Chin.
I'm Judge Chin. Oh, should I judge my own actions?
Not necessarily. I was just saying you don't have to reflect
Oh,
on
okay,
yourself.
right. Yeah. Well, anyways.
Are you a good person? Let's go back.
Oh, going
Yeah.
back to am I a good person?
Yeah.
I think that I am. I don't know. I don't think that. I fucking hate that question. I think that I think I'm generally. I'm a neutral person.
No,
and there's-
no, lukewarm. No, lukewarm.
No. I think I'm a neutral person.
Totally.
So in between good and bad. Well, no, not even in between good or bad. Okay, because I don't like having this like concept of like, oh, he's a good person. He goes and he does things. I think that I'm a person and I do good things sometimes and I also do shitty things sometimes.
Okay.
But I don't think that just because I did 2 more good things than bad things that makes me a good person. And I don't think that because if I did more bad things than good things, I would be a bad person. I just think that if
Would you say Hitler? Would you say Hitler was a bad person?
I don't know.
yeah,
man.
I mean, I guess, yeah, for
What do you-
sure. But I guess, you know what?
You know what?
It
Let me
comes
change your
down
mind.
to
He's not.
your intentions. I think that if you have intentions to do good, then for the most part,
So you don't have good intentions.
I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Like, there's certain times where I have a neutral intention. Like, I don't really care what the outcome is, but I know that the outcome is going to be considered moral or good. But I don't do it because I think it's going to be moral. I do it just because I just do it. So
Yeah.
that's why it's
What
kind
a
of fuzzy for me.
sociopath thinks like.
I can't stand people who say neutral on anything. On especially that sort of question.
on being a good or bad person?
That is a
Yeah.
pretty significant question. But yeah, so Sandra, one thing I want to say is like kind of like that Hitler thing I was trying to bring up. It seems like there's an obvious way to tell if someone is good or bad. Sometimes, or maybe most of the time, she's gonna make a big claim like, "Oh yeah, this person's a bad guy."
Hmm.
But,
Yeah,
like,
I
how do
think
you
it's.
we can know that. How do you think we know that?
I think there's just like certain obvious indicators, like especially for someone that I think, just as humans, we understand that killing is wrong. So the guy that killed literally millions of people, we're gonna
Yeah.
say
I
he
think-
did a lot of wrong things. That guy's
Listen,
bad.
listen.
Okay.
I bet all of us think that Hitler is a bad person, right?
You don't have to bet, dude. You know that
No,
all of us
I
think-
know, that's what I'm saying. I know, but we all think so. But I bet Hitler's dog probably thinks he's the greatest man in the world.
Oh.
Wait, that made me so sad actually.
Yeah.
Like
Why?
because it just shows the concept of like there are
Perspective.
things
How
happen that
dumb
you just have
dogs
no
are?
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like
He-
the innocence of animals.
You don't
in
even-
the face of like humanity.
What if I also told you Hitler held a pet sanctuary?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does
I
that
think
negate
that-
his
goes up a
whole?
little point?
Does that negate all those Jews that he killed?
and
Maybe a little bit.
gypsies
Maybe a little
and
bit.
all
Hey,
those
you ever
people.
see that meme? It's like for example, in this case, he's killing a ton of Jews. Close the gate. You're like, but he had a pet sanctuary. Open the gate a little bit.
I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Yeah.
Is
I
he
guess
neutral? Is he neutral then, Tanner? Are you on the same level as Hitler?
Maybe maybe on a lesser scale.
All right.
I could be a little. I'm like a I'm like a lesser Hitler.
I mean, how many Jews have you killed? How many Jews is too many?
Anything more than 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Jason, I want to know: are you a good person or a bad
Oh,
person?
I'm a neutral.
And why is that? Why do you think you're neutral?
No, I was just joking. Because I believe I am neither good nor bad, and I have intentions, but not necessarily with good intentions in mind, nor negative intentions in mind. I like to stay in the center and not really choose a side.
Yeah, like there might be an action that I don't really care about, but I know society will view it as morally good, so I'm just like, whatever.
I think, I think I'm a good person. I think, if there is a God, he will smile upon me and let me into the pearly gates. But good thing he's
you
not.
think you're just gonna skip purgatory?
Yep. I've already decided I'm gonna skip purgatory because I'm that good of a person.
You decided. You get to decide that.
I am the arbiter of what happens to my life. God,
Who's the guy that's supposed to meet you at the gates?
Saint
Paul or something.
Saint James.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Saint
alright, go
Nicholas.
ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Santa Claus?
The saint of all good.
Dude, could you imagine dying and seeing Santa Claus open the gates of heaven for you?
That's your gift. You have one last gift, my son.
Deep tears. Shed.
And then he hands you like a gift wrap box, and it's like coal, and you're like shit.
And then the floor drops, and then you just
Yeah, I mean,
go down.
but yeah, I do think of myself as a good person, even though I don't think any of my intentions are negative. I never try to try to like be malicious towards anyone, even though like at the end of the day, like some moments, like in the heat of the moment, I may like wish for some malicious, but once I take malicious. But I eventually am able to like take a step back and say, I want the best for you. I don't really care, or I don't care about you. Your existence means nothing to me. And I think, and that is neither good nor bad when you just,
So you're neutral.
no, but only that part. But overall, I think I'm a good person.
Okay, so that was a lot. Can you recap really shortly in one sentence? I'm a good person because...
I'm a good person because I don't wish all my intentions are good. And
intentions, just like Tanner said.
no, but Tanner was like his intentions are neutral. Sometimes they are bad.
Not the outcome, but like the methodology for determining if you're a good person.
Yeah, I think intention. I feel like intentions kind of.
That's very interesting. So you guys had a similar view, whereas what instantly came to my mind was like, how is my attitude? how do I treat people, and how do I respect the law. I
No.
had like 3 aspects in
No,
But
my.
aren't those things about your intentions too?
I
Like
guess.
if your actions are based on those things, those things are your intentions. Your intentions are to put off a good attitude, respect the law, and be good to your family.
Yeah.
You
I
could
guess
you
you're
could
right.
do all those things and still have like bad intentions.
Oh, that is true.
Hmm.
Well, yes.
I think so. I think so, and don't try arguing with me because I
So
do
now
not
you
have
guys
enough.
know this podcast is comprised of 2 good people and 1 neutral.
How the tables have turned because you were
Yes,
the
I'm no
neutral.
longer lukewarm.
Yeah.
I'm heating up.
Oh, and also I'm no longer the psychopath. It's you two.
Sociopath.
Sociopath.
Yeah, us 2 scored higher on those sociopaths.
I got
right?
20%. We all took a sociopath test.
I think
As
like 3 of them, or at least
we
2
took
of them.
one good one, I think. An exhaustive one, a 25 question.
I don't know if 25 questions is exhaustive, but yeah,
It's
go
almost it's close enough. It was close enough.
ahead. Near perfect science.
And I think average was 24%, and I scored 20. Tanner scored 8. No, 5, and Troy scored 8.
Something like that. No, I think I scored a little bit higher than Troy. No.
No, yeah, you were the lowest.
I'm not sure, but I'll
You
take it.
just
I'll
said
take
you
it.
would no longer, but yeah.
Definitely.
No,
Look,
because
yeah.
Troy scored higher on the first test than I did.
Yeah, that first test that was a lot shorter. It felt like what 7 or 8 questions.
Yeah.
I got like a 16, and that was just barely at the cusp where the test says you have slight sociopathic tendencies. And then
Yeah.
you guys were a lot lower than me on that test specifically.
Yeah, Troy got 8%. Tanner got 5.
True.
No, Tanner got 12. Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, I was a little bit
elite.
higher on that one, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
but-
I'm not.
It's
I'm not
okay.
trying to win this.
Listen, we all know that you're the real sociopath.
Yeah. You don't have to fight for it.
Yeah.
You can just have it.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
'Cause I don't
I'll
know.
take it. I'll take it.
We already know how sociopathic you are.
What-
Tanner,
what-
have you ever experienced any sort of emotion? Like
all
honest
the
question,
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
When was the last
No,
time
I
you were sad? I mean,
All the time.
All the time.
It's a constant sadness.
but you never experienced happiness, right? Or anger.
and happiness all at the same time. It's just it evens out to a nice even neutral.
That sounds very sociopathic. Like, you're marking all the check boxes. All right.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, would a sociopath, like, how do they? Would sociopaths reveal themselves? You know, like out themselves as sociopaths.
Some of them maybe.
Yeah.
I don't.
Some of
think
them
they would,
are
like,
self-aware.
contradict.
So, well, I mean, yeah, like, well, I think especially if you're self-aware, then you would.
But
like,
Tanner's
maybe
saying
have-
like publicly oust yourself, like everyone.
Is that-
I'm a
I don't think
psychopath.
that's what he's saying.
I didn't mean just that, but I mean like when you. I'm saying that the number of reported sociopaths must be much lower because I feel like if you were a sociopath, you wouldn't wanna let it be known.
No,
So, like,
I
you
don't
would-
think you care.
self-reporting.
I think you just don't care.
Oh.
You don't care that you're a sociopath. You are what
But
you
a lot
are,
of
and
them
you accept
apparently
that.
do care about being caught if they like do bad things.
But not all sociopaths are bad.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, CEOs are sociopaths. Jason.
Tanner's a sociopath.
Oh,
Oh, well, tables have turned.
true. I like it. But yeah, I don't know.
So you can't remember the last time you were sad, or when was the last time you experienced like actual emotion, like
I
hardcore?
experience actual emotion all the time.
I mean, you can't. You haven't named one.
I mean,
I'm just asking for one instance out of your many.
Taking a while to
is feeling chilly an emotion.
That's
No,
no.
that
I
is a
feel chilly all the
physical-
time.
That is a physical like feeling.
I
Well,
remember one
the
time I
warmth.
smiled for even a second.
No, yeah, I think that
No.
I feel like when I first saw snow, I was really happy. That brought me joy.
No, you were just feeling cold. That's called cold.
Yeah.
I was grimacing with pain. That's what it was.
You were just
right.
breathing extra hard, trying to warm up your cheeks.
Do you feel like you experience a lot of emotions?
I think
that
I'm
you
a
can-
very emotional guy. I don't necessarily show it all like out there. Like like I say, like I've always tried to maintain the kind of
The
image
beat
that
inside.
the nonchalant,
the image of a guy who doesn't really,
blase.
I'm just
Like,
cool.
yeah, I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't. I tried not to care, but yeah, I still experience emotion on the daily. Some days
Yeah, I
like,
experience motion on the daily.
yeah, okay,
I
okay,
experience
okay,
motion on the
buddy.
daily, bro.
Okay, buddy, you can't name
Always
one
moving.
example. I saw snow once and I
I said
grimaced.
The snow thing was real. Okay. What about you, Troy? Troy's an emotionally dead inside.
Yeah, honestly,
I
I
feel
don't
like-
really know much of
I'm just gonna
Troy.
guess. I feel like I feel less emotion than you two.
I think you might.
I don't know how much less, but just less.
Us two or him as well?
He said
Oh,
us
two.
too.
You said you two.
guys.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, yeah. All right, yeah, that's fair.
But why do you
I
think?
wonder like how I know that, or like why am I feeling that?
Do you what is if you had to make a pie chart, what is like the one emotion you always feel, like the one that takes up the most space?
Um,
And we can all
I feel
think
like
about
I'm
that.
constantly balancing two things, excitement and boredom, and I'm trying to keep boredom as low as possible.
Wow.
I know that's a really weird answer, but that's the first thing I thought of.
Does that count as an? I mean, I guess boredom is an emotion and excitement is an emotion. Okay.
Yeah, boredom is like related a little bit to sadness or depression. Excitement is related to happiness. So I mean, they're like slightly different colors. Kind of like
Yeah.
turquoise is like a blue.
To be honest, Troy, I don't think I've ever really seen you sad. Even though like you've had sad moments,
Yeah.
I don't see you as a sad.
I don't think I like to show myself being sad either, because I know like when I am sad and I felt sadness before, I try my best to like not show it for sure.
But why? Do you know
feel
why?
I think I probably view it as like a weakness, or like I want to keep like image of myself like as high as I can. So if I can hold it in, I'm gonna hold it in. You know.
When was the last time all of us had a good cry? If
What
you
is
wa-
a good cry? Like you're like just bawling your eyes out?
Yeah, where like it's not just one tear that you just like wipe away. Like, oh, that was
Like a
sad.
crazy one.
Like the one where you can't even breathe or like muster up a sentence. And then
Dude, maybe my
Hysterical crying is the
Yeah.
funniest shit. dude.
yeah, just like hysterical crying. When was the last time you hysterically cried?
I'm not gonna say what it was, but I'll say my junior year of college. I think.
June.
Okay.
Damn, that's
I'm
a
just gonna
while
pick
ago.
time period. Yeah,
That is
so
a
a
while
while ago. A while ago.
You won't give us any brief insight as to what caused
No.
it.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't.
I
Have
know.
to
I'm just.
I
No,
don't feel like
I'll press it if anything. I'll press it right now. What about you, Tanner? When was the last time you?
Well, I mean, a couple months ago, but before that, I can't remember. I don't think that was probably the first time in a very, very long time.
Were you actually? Oh, were you like balled hard? Ball so hard?
Ball so hard.
Go hard in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was like it wasn't hysterical crying, and it was kind of weird because there'd be points where I would like cry really hard, and then I'd just stop, and then I wouldn't feel anything, and then I would cry again, but it would just be kind of like in these waves. where
So
it was
these
like,
choppy intervals, not even waves, because wave is kind of smooth. It's like two walls, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was like
Like a
Like
dam
a-
opening, and then
yeah, like the
crashing.
faucet just opened all the way and then closed and then opened.
So yeah, I guess I am the most emotional of like us three because
Yeah.
I have a good cry at least twice a year, I would say,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it makes me feel more human. And I know like since Tanner's a
Are you saying
sociopath.
that we're not human?
No,
That
you
we're
guys,
freaking
you guys are
robots, bro?
fucking reptilian species. Humans cry.
Detroit become human.
Humans cry. Maybe I should cry too.
We just have eye drops in our pockets all the time, just in case.
You guys are like Mark Zuckerberg
so we can participate.
with his fucking
Yeah, like
reptilian.
that. Have you
I
seen
will
that
too
picture?
drink water like they do.
Humans, they drink water. Drink
No,
water.
stop. We're being recorded by him. Stop that.
Drink water,
shit.
Mark. Drink. But yeah, I would say I cry. I'm a very emotional person, but I think I also put myself out there to be emotional. To be like,
that's
And you
good.
feel like after you do this, it's like you feel better.
it's very therapeutic to cry, especially like a good cry. I think
It is.
Yeah, it is. And I remember like sometimes I cry and I just sit in the bathroom or look in the mirror. I'm like, you're crying. You're crying right now.
Just punch the mirror. Shut up, pussy.
And then you just stop. You're like, but I don't want to stop crying. And then you start thinking of like other sad things to make you cry more. Like, damn it.
No, that's a very common thing. Like sadness is like usually very bad. No one wants it, but there's many cases reported where like people want to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you
keep the
just
sadness going.
yeah.
Like they'll keep listening to these songs that make them sad
Oh.
instead of
Mhm.
make them feel better, or they keep looking at these pictures or these videos and they won't let go
Mhm.
of like whatever made
Yeah.
them sad.
Why is it that? So like,
Because
I
it is
I know
therapeutic.
very-
It's therapeutic to feel like some sort of emotion.
I can kind of understand. I felt that before too, where I feel like I could get better, but for some reason, being here is kind of comforting, even though it hurts. It's like a comforting hurt.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like like after as soon as this is over, you are gonna get better, but you want to prolong this little mini episode.
Self pity.
Yeah.
You know what it is, dude? I
I
really
think it's part of it. That could be part of it for sure. Self pity.
sure. And I was gonna say that I really dislike self pity, and I don't like pity in general. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So like I don't. That's one of the reasons that I don't like to make myself vulnerable, because I don't like pity. But another thing that I really don't like is I don't like self pity. So I don't like to feel sorry for myself, because I think that I don't know. That's just not
Mm-hmm.
That's just not.
This is-
yeah, I mean that makes sense.
All right, yeah. Another one on the checklist.
But
Go ahead, keep going.
no, I forgot where I was going with that, but it was tying in. Okay, it had something to do with what we
You
were
just
talking
want
about.
to insult anyone who pities anything.
No. You know, if you pity yourself, I would recommend not doing it. But you know, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But, yeah, I think I don't know. Even if it's just like, yeah, I know that I'm only doing it for a moment just so that I could express my emotions.
I think
fully.
I
But
think
don't
you
know if
should
that's
try.
necessarily
I think you
helpful.
should be able to try to experience emotions, Tanner.
I can experience emotions, and I do. I just
It's
don't
happening.
think that self pity is one of the ones that you should.
No, I think not even
Let's-
necessarily self pity, but like being able to hit that rock bottom for like even that one like 30-minute session.
I mean, I have, and I know what it feels like.
I
That's
think
why
I think it's a good period to self-reflect. It's when you're so low and so vulnerable to, especially even to your
yeah,
own
but the
self.
thing is, like, the thing about self pity is that you're like, yeah, my life is low, and that sucks. Everybody, look, it kind of sucks.
But like, so,
and then you're kind of looking at yourself like you're your own audience. You're like,
Okay,
yeah,
I
look
think
at myself.
actually-
I suck.
You just brought up a good point. So I think I was also agreeing with Tanner. Self pity is not good, but I kind of think it's necessary. You should combine self pity with like learning and improvement. Like,
But I
I'm in a
think, like-
situation and it sucks, and I gotta make it better.
I think you can recognize. I think you could recognize your situation without
Without the
pitying
self-pity.
yourself. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that you can just be like, right now I'm in a shitty situation and I need to do better. I need to be doing better.
I think
No.
sometimes you may be like speaking from an ivory tower.
Yeah, I feel like it's easy to
But,
say that
yeah.
when you're not it. You know.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, I feel like I've been at a low point in my life, and I know what it feels like to be in a point where, and I have pitied myself before, so I know what self pity feels like too. So I'm just saying, I think from my experience, I know that.
I don't
You know,
even
when
think
you are-
I feel like self-pity is such a like a
It's too natural. I
It's-
don't think you could stop it,
Yeah.
even if just a little bit. Kind of
Yeah,
like
I
how I
think
think
for
that
sure.
all humans are self.
everyone is self-aware. They know like where at what point it takes to like get them down, and they know like
Yeah.
when you're not meeting your expectations of yourself,
Yeah,
and that's
but I
when
think,
you kind
I
of
don't
just
know.
like
Pity is just like it's a different thing. Like being self-aware and being and self-pity and pity is just it's a whole different
Yeah.
ballpark. But anyways, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could go on forever. Like, what is pity to you, or whatever? Like all these definitions and things like that. So maybe it'll just never be.
So when was your last reflective period then?
I mean, I think
When is your most reflective? Like I know all of us are always reflective. You know, every day we try to improve ourselves. But when was that last moment where you're like, these are things I really need to adjust. I need to change about myself. I'm not going to pity myself. I'm going to actually work hard, do all these.
I have to think about that. Why don't you start?
I mean, it was just a lot. I say a lot of that was just in the recent like heartbreak. Even though I keep referencing that, I hate referencing it as that.
No, it is pretty significant though. Even if you hate referencing it, it's true that it had a lot of impact on you.
Yeah, and it has like that allowed me to like kind of take a step back on what I want or what I deserve and how I want to get to that point, and that kind of it helped with the inception of this podcast. It helped with the inception of a lot of other projects and habits that I've developed. And I think it's from that moment of self-pity, as you put it, is to where I am today. Like I like the idea that I can always build myself up, and it's always a peak and valley. I don't always expect myself to be exponentially going up, but yeah, okay, I'll just leave it at that. I'm just gonna drone on for a sec.
No, continue if you have more to say.
No, I mean, I was just gonna keep reiterating the same thing. So like, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna experience those little valleys, and I think
The rule of threes. Now you got to say 2 more examples of the same thing.
that's right. So I experienced peak and valleys.
Like eels and escalators.
Yeah. So I've been experiencing a lot of eels and escalators and
one more.
chutes and ladders.
There you go. There it is.
And then we play the fake audience laughter.
Yeah. If you like, I feel like if you at this point, if you can't even remember the last time you kind of you self-reflected, or you decided to, like, you remember the last part you decided to make a major change. Maybe it's healthy, maybe it's not, but in my eyes, I think it's slightly unhealthy.
And I want to add to that. It doesn't even also have to be like you made a change. You could just also self-reflect just to learn about yourself.
Yeah, just to learn
and not
about
change
yourself.
anything.
I feel like if you don't get better every year, you're doing yourself a disservice. Even whether it's like actually like mentally, or like, something in the physical world.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Like, you should, I think, and it should be like you said, a year by year process. You should be able to look back and say, I'm doing better than I was last year. And even if you're not in a better financial situation, something like that, you should at least be,
A better
more
mindset,
mature.
more mature,
a more
like
mature person.
something better. There's always something better. It takes a special kind of like hindsight to really see it.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Troy? Do you remember the last time you were?
You're not going to self-reflect yourself. You're like, yeah.
No,
I agree. Self-reflection is good. All right, Troy.
You were totally sounding like you were going to go, and then you're like, all right, Troy.
Yeah. I think, okay, for myself, I mean, I think my whole, and this is going to sound, it's not going to be the answer that you want, but my whole senior year, not my senior year, my whole college experience was just this whole wave of self-reflection and kind of understanding who I am.
I don't see that as a bad answer.
Okay, all right, then I'll give it. Then, yeah, so just overall, because the person that I started out coming in and the person that I was, halfway through, and then the person I came out to be at the end, was these vastly different people in my mind. And a lot of it had to do with me, like, taking a step back, quite frequently, actually, and just taking a step back and thinking, who am I? What do I want to be? And what do I need to do to get to that point of what I want to be? And, yeah, and I definitely, I saw that even looking back, I feel like I can look back like every week and think, wow, dude, I really fucked up. I can't believe I did that shit, or I can't believe I said that, or this and that. Like, I'm always looking back and being self-reflective about my mistakes. So, but I think over my college career, that was definitely a really big theme for myself.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna go pee.
And to go back to something that Jason had brought up earlier was a lot of the times I was asking myself, am I a good person? And that's why I hate that question, because like I feel like I could have never answered that for myself. Like, I didn't know how I could answer that, because I didn't know if the actions that I were doing were justified, or if I was actually doing a good thing, or if I was doing a bad thing. And I just wanted to, like, be a good person, and
Yeah.
so that was my biggest struggle. But yeah. All right.
I feel like maybe it's not that hard of a question if you frame it like, am I respecting other people, and am I respecting other people's property?
Yeah, but I don't want to, as I say, move the goalpost just for my own sake to make myself feel better, like I'm a good person. I wanted to find what the definitions were
Mm,
that
yourself.
defined what being a good person it was. Yeah, because if I just set the standards low and say like, yeah, am I being respectful? Sure, I'm being respectful, but I don't think that in
Yeah.
my, at least in my mind, I didn't necessitate that to mean that
Mm,
that meant you're a good person or whatever.
yeah.
But all right, yeah. So what about you,
I
Troy?
guess. Yeah, sure. I guess the more we talk about it, before I continue myself, maybe asking whether you're a good person or not, maybe it's not that important. Maybe that's like a much smaller question of like a much bigger question that you should be asking yourself. Like, I'll keep saying it. Like, I think the goal of life is like happiness. Like, am I happy? Like, if I am, can I like change anything to make it better? Or if I'm not, same thing. Can I change anything to make it better? And at the same time, like, am I doing it in a way that will not affect other people's happiness or something like that?
Hmm.
Maybe we talk about
Yeah.
some other time. But in terms of the most recent time I reflected on myself, I guess I guess 2 days ago. I mean, I also had a Jason situation.
With
I broke up
Jason's
with
situation, what does it mean?
well, I broke up with a girl, but this time this is like someone I've been with for like more than 4 years. So, and it was like tough to just like keep it alive these like last bits of like this year, especially like when you go long distance and you go to different like towns to work and things, and there's just different things going on in your life, and you're trying to find that time, and not just time but like interest, like you want to like talk to them and things like that. And this year, I what I really appreciate about Jason moving in is I feel like it made me a more responsible person. Like he just always does things like on time, even if he's like had like a bad day, he'll just like do this or do this when I would have just done it the next day. And then he's good about like finances and saving money, so I try to copy that as well. And then all of a sudden we start talking about like, oh, cool business ideas we can do. And then now we're doing this podcast, which I really enjoy, and like it makes me really happy. And also we're playing a lot more like cool video games with each other, and like that's just really fun, and that's like really cool teamwork. So I started doing all these things that just made me a lot more like happy than talking with my girlfriend. And I mean, obviously that's just going to make them like really sad and distant, and then it's just not going to work anymore. And then when it came time to talk, like, hey Troy, this isn't working, blah blah blah, I honestly just said, I mean, I was so sad, but I just said, yeah, I don't see myself stopping like all these new things that I've been doing. Like they make me really, really happy. I prefer to do these things, but at the same time, I was hoping we could just move in together at a somewhat sooner, near future point. But I mean, too much damage has been done because of these choices I made. So, and in my mind, and it sounds really dumb now that I realize, I was just trying to have my cake and eat it too. I was trying to do all
that
these
that
cool,
that's what the
like,
entire
fun
podcast is all about.
Yeah,
We
I
said
mean,
that phrase so many times.
I
I
think that
know
should
I
be our
love cake.
slogan.
Yeah, make a cake icon for this. But basically, like I was just expecting like I can do all these cool new fun activities, and then when I'm done, I'll have a girlfriend to move in with, like when the time comes. But no, that's
Yeah,
not how it
she can't.
works.
You can't leave her on the back burner
Yeah.
while you do all
Yeah.
these other things.
And
So yeah, go ahead, Tanner.
I was gonna say that number one, yeah, that's what a that's that whole concept of having a cake and eating it too. That's like the whole reason this podcast exists. Because I think that that's something that we all share as
Hmm.
a vice. Because I think that that is a vice. I think that that want to have a cake and eat it too is not healthy for
Yeah.
for you because it'll yeah, I don't know, it's a bad way to guide your decision making. And um and yeah, it becomes so painfully clear when you move away from another person, where how you see how your paths have diverged. And I think
For
that
sure.
maintaining that kind of like trying to find a way to bring them back together when they're kind of going in different directions
Yeah.
is
So what is that? So what would you say like a solution is to this? Like, how can you have a business
Like,
idea, your job, your all these other hobbies, and balance that with a significant other? Is
You
that
just it's just more sacrifice.
is that even possible?
Like do like like do your business meetings in less times, or have shorter podcasts, or have shorter video games, or do shorter gym sessions, and spend less time on this like music as well. And like I honestly just knew like I wasn't ready to give that up.
yeah, and
So
you know what? I think that, yeah, it's true. You'd have to cut down on those things, but I think
Yeah.
that the real indicator of what, and this is gonna kind of sound shitty, but I think
No, that's
that,
fine. Yeah.
when to be able to balance that with your significant other
Yeah.
isn't hard because you'll want to do those things.
Yeah.
You'll
I,
want, like, it wouldn't be a sacrifice to you. It would be,
exactly.
I'm just doing it because this is what I want to do.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and like I said, I was just feeling so much more like excitement or enjoyment like doing these things, and we even talked that like we started feeling like more excitement or like talking to like other people instead of just the same old us.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I find
that's
it
just
so
one sign that
sad,
it's just
but
getting
it's
bad
true.
as
Like,
well.
Yeah, how, I mean,
that's just like,
marriages are a scam, bro. Like, how are you supposed to be stuck with the same person the rest of your life, man?
Yeah, I
but
mean,
what do you think you deserve then? So what do you, not you, but like,
Us.
yeah.
Uh,
What is that called?
What do you mean by deserve?
what do you mean?
Like,
Like,
do
what
you,
kind of person?
yeah, do you think no, do you deserve to be, like, people in the relationships, do they deserve to be happy?
Yeah, of course.
But
Everybody
like,
deserves
but
to be
I say
happy.
that, but like saying like, even though like you say we deserve to be happy, and yet you're not happy in the
Oh.
moment together,
Yeah,
should
I
you
see what
still
mean.
like keep fighting for it?
Yeah, and that's just something you have to feel out like, oh yeah, it's gonna get better, or like I did, and I just said, no, it's not gonna get better, and I had that foresight. I was like, it's really not gonna get better. In fact, it's probably just gonna get worse
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't
So
know.
going back on the whole self-reflecting and the whole reason I'm talking about this is that made me fully realize I feel like I lived a lot of my life carefree. I've lived honestly a pretty selfish life, and usually it didn't have too much negative impact on other people, but until now, I would say, or something that I've noticed now, and it made me really hunker down and realize when I choose to do whatever I want to do, that's technically fine, but I have to be aware what I'm giving up because nothing is truly free.
Mm-hmm. There
So
is, so, yeah.
yeah, and
Opportunity cost.
also the maybe the fallacy of sunken costs. I'm like, well, I just lost a really good long year relationship to do these things that are just not just really fun, but if it goes well, my future is going to be so amazing and full of opportunity. So I feel like now, and I was talking about Jason with this at lunch today. I feel like now that I've lost this, if I don't become a really happy and successful person in return, then it was all for nothing. I just lost both things for nothing.
It's true, and
Holy
it's such
fuck.
a crazy way to look at it, but it's so true. Like,
Yeah, so that's all I've been thinking about these past 2 days.
especially if
Crazy.
you were like, you kind of like were the cause of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I put myself in this situation, and one door just closed, and I have to get to the other door before it closes.
But
Yeah, and you made,
okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say you made a really good point because I think about that all the time about, right and wrong decisions, but mostly like if I made this decision, what does that mean? What could that have meant for myself? Like if I didn't choose to do this or that, I could be in a better position, but I made my choices and now I fucked up kind of thing. And
So you have to learn to live with your choices.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
so
like-
like it's like, damn, did I just fuck this? Like, and the thing is like you don't really know, and you never really
Yeah.
know until further down the road.
Yeah, you might not never know for a year, 2 years, or many years, or never.
Yeah, right.
That's a crazy
Fuck.
concept to think about. I didn't think about that either, actually.
Like your grandchildren, like your effect on your grandchildren's children are the ones you never have because then you never get married and then you die alone.
Exactly. So you'll never
Oh.
know like what your family would have been like and all these things.
Yeah.
That's
there-
crazy to think about.
Have you ever had this moment, Tanner, you being a emotionless person?
Troy was the less emotional person than I am.
Oh,
but
right.
Yeah. So considering I'm definitely not as emotional as you guys, that was a pretty big hit to me these last
Yeah,
2 days.
and
If you had a hit like this, can you like empathize?
Yeah, 100%. Like I know exactly. I kind of know exactly what Troy is feeling because I've felt those things before.
Can you give
And
us
so that's
a
why it
high
gets me
level?
super excited.
Could you give a high level?
High level?
Or go as deep as you want, bro.
Oh yeah, or go as deep as you want.
I'm not gonna go deep into it, but I mean,
You don't have to use names.
no, I'm not gonna use name. I wasn't going to use
Good,
names,
just
but
give-
I think that yeah. I mean, I've been in relationships where, it's just I'm not. The thing is that I'm not sure what I really want, and there's things that I get enjoyment out of, but all the and I'm constantly doing that juggle where I'm balancing it between my significant other, and then the other things that I want to do in life. And it's really difficult to say whether these things are worth it, because for me, the way that I think about it is that perhaps these things that I really enjoy now over spending time with my significant other are just ephemeral, and they're just short-term dopamine rushes, like I just enjoy it because like right now it gives me excitement, but this is the long-term investment that I should be, or like she's the long-term investment that I should be putting time into, or something like that. And making, and like Troy said, it's like, you open and close these doors, and if you close one door and you don't make it to the other door in time, then you're shit out of luck.
Nothing.
You get nothing. And that's like, that whole concept is, that's what drives like fear in relationships, I think. At least for me in my relationships.
So one thing I think I mentioned to Tanner like 3-4 years ago, was that it was during a period where I wasn't even dating, where I just got out of a relationship or something, where that I realized that you can get everything from a significant other if you have a good group of friends.
That's what I told you, you piece of shit.
I could have sworn I said that.
No, dude, I told that to you.
I look at it differently. It's my memory.
You're full of shit,
it's
dude.
my memory. But I because like
it's my flashback.
It's my flashback. But yeah, I mean, I think I was always, for like a brief period of time, I was just like, shit, dude, I just want a girlfriend. I just want to feel love again. But then I take a step back and like look at it hindsight. I'm like, wait, I have all these friends, all these close friends that occupy a lot of my time. They are there. They're there when I need me. They're there to make me happy. They're there to console me when I'm down. The only thing they don't give me is the nut. So.
But other than that, they give you everything that you need. Like if you need someone to cook with, you got someone there. If you need someone to watch a movie with, they're always there. And that kind of got me through like a lot of like a period of time. And now that like, now all I have is right now is Troy, and he does all he can. I'm still like in that like kind of like phase where like I need to decide. Where I still need I'm trying to latch on to something, whether I'm trying to gather my good close group of friends again, or latch onto a relationship to supply me with like my needs. I think at the end of the day, like I need my friend.
Attention.
Yeah, I need someone to be there for me, and like Troy is there for me like as a good friend and roommate, but there are some things I guess I don't fully like open up to Troy because
Troy can cosplay for you if you want.
I'm not talking about getting my nut.
Schoolgirl.
But like there are things that like that I feel like maybe Troy can't fully empathize or sympathize with me, so and that's why I
think he can.
No, I'm saying like. Not everything. I'm sure that there are things that I talk to Troy about, but not every, like I don't say that about everything. Like
that's fair.
And I know people who I like, a good friend who I talk to a lot can really relate to like a lot of the situations I've been through.
You said that in such a creepy way. I talk to a lot.
Talk to a lot of friends, and and so I don't know where I was going with that.
Basically, I've never been in these type of situations that you like to talk with your friend. Yeah. So talking to me is not as like good.
Yeah, that's no insult to you. Like I don't. I know. I hope it doesn't come off that reality.
Way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason's like, you ever have that Tinder date where they just call your dick small and walk out on you? I'm like, no.
That's not a story. That did not happen.
Troy was telling me about that the other day.
No, I made it sound ridiculous on purpose. No way it's real.
It could have happened. It very could have.
Really? I thought it sounded ridiculous enough. You're telling me that could have been real? Not for you, but in general.
Of course, not for me. Of course.
I mean, dang it. I really try to make it sound unrealistic as possible for a joke, but...
No, that was too real for Jason.
That was too real.
Really? Shoot. All right, well,
yeah.
But yeah, basically.
But yeah, you know, Troy, there are things that like I've experienced that I know for a fact that Troy hasn't really experienced.
So if anything, I would just be there to like listen rather than give anything back. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Well, how do you feel about that, Troy? Do you feel like you are emotionally equipped to be? And I'm not
Not
saying that you
necessarily.
have to.
It's not necessarily emotion. It's also like experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, fine.
Are you-
Experientially equipped.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the word.
I mean, yeah, I feel like though me and Jason have a lot of similarities when it comes to these like experiences that he wants to talk about, it's things that I probably haven't done before or like I've done very little of.
You ever done 69?
I love that number.
Do you feel like you can be? Do you feel like you are an empathetic person?
I think so. I feel like I've been like that all my life actually. So I remember when I was opening up another
sympathetic.
podcast where we were like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, this podcast has helped me learn so much about myself, blah blah blah. And you guys thought, oh, it's because you never had deep talks before. But no, I've always had deep talks my whole life, but with other people that like needed like help or they really wanted to talk to me, like they came to me
Oh, that was
and
the
we would
Hannah
talk for just
podcast.
hours straight. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I think when
I've
I
done
said
that.
when I said that was like I think a lot of us were in tune with our own like sadness and like
Oh.
a lot of us been to like these dark rock bottoms. I know especially like Hannah and I don't know much about Tanner in that regards whether he's experienced that sort of rock bottom. But a lot of us are like in our like in these types of people that I named they're in tune with who they are
Yeah.
and like they know how sad or like how rough things are and like it's a very cynical like view on life and that's why like I kind of like view that have that view.
Yeah.
Like I like to think even though like I say I'm a good person and I still live in a life of cynicism where that is like very like my view on life is very logical and rational and or like not think the bet I try not to be an optimist about everything.
Wow.
I try to be
Before you
a
continue,
realist.
I think that's really interesting how you view life really logically, and I think you do, yet you're such an emotional person.
Yeah.
How do you think that goes together?
You know, I've always thought about that like even like for like a while I like something that's very like that was an irrational thought that was of mine was the idea of true love.
Uh-huh.
And it took like some experiences to really like hone in that idea that you can't love is natural and love is not forced and you shouldn't expect love out of nowhere either. Like love is something you work towards, you have to build on it and it's not as fairy tale as you would expect. It's
So
a
before you
dirty thing.
continue, I hear these two slightly true yet like contradicting statements. Love is natural, but love takes a lot of hard work.
I was gonna mention that.
So like in my situation, like should I have worked even harder to keep everything, or because it didn't feel natural at that point, I was right to like drop it?
Like it's natural and it's hard work. That's like what
It's a paradox.
it's weird. That's what
I mean,
makes
it's a fine balance.
That's what makes love so weird. Like you have to have that natural unconditional love for someone, but you also know that you have to nurture love to make it work. Like it's not just you leave it somewhere and just let it do sprout on its own.
So basically, it can't be measured. Every situation is different.
Love can travel through all. Love transcends all.
Time and space, Tars.
Stars. And like, yeah, I like even though like like love is such a weird concept to me. Like it's almost something I can go irrational about. It's almost, but
Maybe love doesn't make sense.
love isn't supposed to make sense, and that's why, and that's the human experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, cynicism is what dictates my life. Do you guys not think you're cynical or like?
No, I think I also view life very logically for sure as well. And I also have less emotion than Jason as well.
That's right.
So it's pretty. I feel like I'm looking at it through a pretty clear scope. at life itself, but now I have to like turn the scope on myself.
But do you think you should have some sort of optimism to to succeed or be happy?
Oh yeah, if we're talking about optimism, like do I believe in myself? Am I excited to be successful? Yeah.
No, but
Do you believe in good in the world, like optimistic about,
Oh.
the world as well? Is that what you're?
yeah, I mean, yeah, like cynicism is the opposite of optimism.
I don't think that is.
Really?
I kind of like
Pessimism is the
Pessimism.
opposite.
Okay.
okay,
yeah,
but
so that's the opposite.
cynicism is more like realist view,
Yeah.
where it's
To a
it's
degree.
neither good nor bad.
Yeah.
You're not expecting the worst, but you're also not expecting the best.
I think cynicism has to do with, being distrustful. Like you don't trust what you see. So it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily good nor bad. It's good to have a level of cynicism, but it's not like people that are overly cynical, they end up leaning towards pessimism.
Yeah, I
because
think so. Yeah, it's very
they
like
concluded.
left leaning.
So you would say you lean a little bit more towards pessimism.
Yes,
Oh.
but even in also in some regards, I lean optimistic.
Oh, so it just depends on certain.
But yeah, so that's why
Everything about
I try to label myself as primarily cynical.
I see.
Okay, so I looked up the definition of what cynicism was, and it says here, an inclination to believe that people are motivated purely by self-interest.
Yes.
And if that is the definition, then I
Oh.
think that I am cynical because
Yeah.
I think that everybody acts.
Everyone is cynical then.
Yeah,
no, but
I
like-
think everybody acts on their own interest.
Oh,
And
maybe
I
not
think
purely, but it's
But
more
like,
fractional.
but like optimism is like, I guess with that definition, it's like everyone's operating on the concept that good is gonna happen, or like you expect the good out of everyone.
Okay, so if you take it like that literally, then I think that's just false. Yeah.
If you believe everyone has good intentions,
Yeah.
and like
That's a dangerous way to live life. Yeah, come into my house.
he won't
Yeah.
rape me.
Well, I don't know, because I definitely do think that everybody operates in order of for self-interest, whether
Yeah.
they know it or not. Like whether like even when you do good things, and I think for some people it's more than others, but you do a good thing so that you can reap the reward of recognition, or even that dopamine rush of feeling like you might not even realize it, but you're doing a good thing
For sure.
to get that emotional.
So everyone is
validation,
cynical.
self-validation.
It just depends to what extent, a lot or little, but it's never zero.
I also like to think like a good synonym to cynical is like skeptical.
Yeah, so that was another thing there. But
okay.
I mean, yeah. So in terms of skepticism,
Like you
I
don't.
guess I'm pretty skeptical.
Yeah,
I
you-
always like to play devil's advocate. I'll take like the opposite unpopular side. Be like, what if the Holocaust was okay? And then everyone be like, what the freak?
that
I'm
was
like,
that
wait,
was my 10th grade end of the year project.
Yeah.
no troll.
No troll. I went up and I tried to argue that Hitler did nothing wrong.
How did that
How
go?
did that go?
I got a D, and then he called my
Search
and
right.
then he
I'm just
called
kidding.
called my dad, and he was like, Jason's a good kid, but I had no idea what he was going on with that.
Would you like to give that presentation for us now?
I don't remember the presentation
Next
because
podcast.
it was literally like because I heard it on the other podcast,
The painkillers one.
the painkiller, because he was just like making a joke of it.
Hey,
And I-
shout out, PK.
And then he made me do another. He gave me a redo, and I something talked about like Batman and 300 or something.
Wow.
But yeah, never try to be the troll in
What
a
is it?
classroom.
At least, not for your grade.
Yeah, I can't believe I did that. But
But yeah, I'll always try to argue for that unpopular side because I think people can get too comfortable in their thinking. Like they'll believe the same thing for like years straight, and I'm like, well, what if opposite? And
Yeah.
they're like, what? You're stupid. And then, but the more you talk about it, maybe it's not so stupid.
yeah, I feel like you have to be open to conversation. That's like kind of what
I always thought about it like
what
this.
makes
So you know
cynicism
how
good.
even if you get the right answer in math, if you don't show your work or like why you believe it's right or whatever, you're not going to get the credit.
See,
So,
but
like-
those are my feelings about religious beliefs, especially so, because I think that a lot of people are religious and they believe in their God, but they don't.
Yeah, without
they don't
work.
understand the history of religion or where it even came from. They don't understand
Yeah.
the context of their
Yeah,
beliefs.
definitely. Yeah, a ton of
So-
atheists like usually know a lot more about scripture than actual religious people because they study it to be right, or maybe just to prove that what they believe in themselves. In which case, I respect that. So if you, whether or not you're an atheist or a Christian, the more research you do to figure out if you truly believe in something, I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just silly, like for you to be like, yeah, I believe in God because my parents told me so. And I'm not trying to
Whoa,
shit on
Tanner,
anybody.
Tanner, you're
Okay,
shitting on some people.
but I think that it's just ignorant. It's like it's as ignorant as
It's
like so
ignorant.
because it's ignorant, bro. Like the same people that even like believes that the opposite, like people that have such conviction that I don't know, give a controversial political
Dude,
platform.
I
or
love the
something like that.
classic the earth is flat or the moon landing never happened because I
Okay.
feel like
These are
myself
conspiracy
I wasn't
theories.
gonna go in that direction, but
no. Like I think this is similar to it. I
don't
myself
know.
It's a
cannot
stretch.
prove.
this is not where I was going. But I'll let you go
Huh?
ahead. Go ahead. No, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Okay.
It's
Well,
a
I
stretch.
thought you were going along the lines of like I myself, like it sounds ridiculous. Oh yeah, well, I mean, it is kind of on track because you were talking about like things like what people believe or like do you believe in the opposite?
Well,
Believe
okay.
in
So this
God?
is where I was gonna go because I think that it's kind of well understood that I don't know what your beliefs are on it, Troy,
Yeah.
but I think it's well understood that the world is
Yeah.
not flat,
Yeah.
and that
Okay, so off this, so now it is relevant.
you baited me.
As
You
I
wanted
think
me to
about
say-
stuff in terms of statistics, I like to believe that classic. It may be a philosophical term of belief, but basically, like, I'm not going to give a definite answer unless I'm sure. It's kind of like, yeah, most likely, out of all these things I've read and seen growing up, the Earth is probably a sphere, but I'm not going to say it for sure is. And also, it doesn't really matter what I say about it as well. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I myself cannot
pissing
prove
me off
whether
right
it's
now.
flat or not. You know?
Pissing me off with your dumb logic.
What do you mean?
How dare
Okay,
you.
all right. Well, to go back to what I was saying, or at least the example that I wanted to give was like, for example, universal healthcare or something like that, where people feel really strongly that universal healthcare is a good idea, or where the other people don't feel that way. I think that a lot of people that make those arguments aren't really well versed on like the history of healthcare or have ideas about natural human rights and all these things, and they don't go down the chain to like understand at a high level like what would be the best decision or what et cetera, et cetera. But I
On
like
that
where you're
topic,
going.
I feel like people are too emotional when it comes to those things. Like they can be debated
Yes.
using like history books and like economics and like finances and money sheets and things like that. But it always comes down to emotion. I need universal free healthcare because I grew up in a house where my parents were disabled and they couldn't afford this, and then he died because he didn't have enough insulin or something like that. And that's why there should be universal healthcare.
Yeah.
I feel like those arguments are just not logical.
You don't think they are?
Yeah,
Like not it by itself. You need a lot more than that.
You need a
to
good sample
change
size.
Universal healthcare.
yeah, and that's why. And I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec. I don't know if you guys have
Yes,
seen that show.
a good documentary.
Yeah,
Right.
of course, on Parks and Rec
Creation.
lead. But anyways, so I bring that up because she was running for councilwoman or something like that,
Yeah.
and they talk about a lot about how the whole campaign process, and I think it's kind of fucked up how a lot of voting is driven based on emotion and the way that
sure.
you draw out those emotions out of your voters to be like, yeah, I really care about, not killing babies and it's all about the dogs and stuff like that. And you play upon those things.
Yeah.
And as long as you get the people emotionally charged about a topic,
Yeah.
then you get them on your side.
I don't know if this is right or wrong or not, but I kind of blame the people more than that corrupt politician when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, people are just uneducated,
Yeah, like they're the very thing like fueling these corrupt things.
The very thing you
their
swore to
emotion.
destroy.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm trying to remember how the saying goes, but it's like we get the politicians we deserve,
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
But-
I guess as a society we deserve whatever politician we get. So if you guys hate Trump, you did it to yourself.
That's right. That's right. You fucking
But I mean,
liberals.
it's not-
You libtard
it-
ass bitch. Okay.
It's everybody, everybody contributes to like even you opposing this idea in such a way where you were like, the girl that threw milk on the person at FSU or some shit like that. Like that does not help your cause at all. And in fact, it only further inspires opposition.
Exactly.
You know,
Almost always I feel like emotion defeats
fucks-
your long-term goals.
Yeah, it
does.
just fucks everything up,
Your
bro.
long-term goals.
That's why you should just be
Right, and I'm
emotionless.
That's why everyone should be a sociopath. Tanner, how does everyone do it like you?
You just gotta cut yourself every day until you don't feel it anymore. You know.
Jeez, too real, dude.
He like holds up his sleeve and his arm is gone.
Too fucking real.
I don't feel a thing.
Too real. You see that
Some nights I
cut?
still feel my arm.
That was Theo.
I have a Theo scratch. No, mine healed. But
I woke up one morning and then I had a scratch on my arm. I'm like, oh, I was possessed.
Oh, I don't know if we have time, but there was, and I don't even think it's a big topic, but every night I am super paranoid that I'm gonna find some way to accidentally kill myself in my sleep because I'm such an active sleeper that
You are.
yeah, I am. So like sometimes if I fixate on something in my head, like I'll act it out like while I'm sleeping. So like I'm super scared that one day I'm just gonna go in my closet, grab my gun, and shoot myself or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude, do you
So-
think
and
physically
this is
from
a
all the
constant-
experiences that you had sleepwalking, could it actually happen?
That's true. Yeah, that's
I
a good
don't
question.
know. That's the
Or do you
thing. I
think
don't
it's too
know.
far-fetched? Oh, you don't
So-
know. I guess that makes it scarier.
But that's the thing. So every night, literally, just like last night and the past couple nights, I go to sleep and I'm like, "Don't think about this. Don't think about this. Don't think about this."
No,
and then I
it's-
just think about it, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I'm not
Did
gonna."
you not
wake
watch Inception? When I say don't think about elephants, what do you think of?
up. Cows, cattle.
Wow, this guy's immune.
He's good.
man.
He's pretty good.
He's good.
Yeah, and that's another reason that I don't think that I could do. I'm scared to do like LSD or hard drugs because if I fixate on something, I'm like super paranoid that I'm gonna act them out. So like if I'm tripping and I'm like, dude, you know, it'd be so funny if I just killed my friend right now.
That'd be
And then-
hilarious. Do it.
So like then I would like trip out and actually
yeah.
kill somebody. I'm like, fuck. So
I mean-
I can't do hard drugs. Don't do hard drugs
Why
around
don't you
me,
test
man.
it out? Go
You're
ahead.
saying you actually might think that if you were on drugs.
Well, I'm like
No,
these
he's-
are just
he's-
like intrusive thoughts, you know? Like
Yeah.
if like I have an intrusive thought and it just like I don't know.
I
If
think you-
fixate
I
on it.
think you should
I
do
have
it.
intrusive thoughts all the time too, but I'm not scared of doing it.
I think you should try LSD, but have like someone watch you and lock you like.
He just kills the person watching him and then himself.
Well then you wake up.
Yeah, I'm just scared of. I'm not like because I know consciously I won't do it. So if I have these intrusive thoughts while I'm, you know,
Do you think subconscious or like non-conscious you is capable of doing this?
that's the problem. I don't know because I'm
You
such
don't.
an
You
active
don't.
sleeper.
You don't have trust in yourself. Maybe
No, I don't. I don't.
this goes back to a deeper topic.
Yeah, I don't trust myself.
You're
man.
not a good person. That's
Fuck.
why.
No, I'm not. No, I'm a new.
We found the true answer.
I mean, I don't think I'm capable of killing someone even in my own like subconscious.
Well, the thing is, like,
And I'll never
it's-
know really.
Like, because have you ever woken up and you're like delusional? Have you ever woken up delusional?
Yeah. I mean, it's really rare. I would say maybe 5 times in my whole life.
I don't-
Like, I'll give you kind of like a small example, which doesn't really have any implications, but just waking up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh fuck, it's time for school, and you do,
Okay,
and
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, I did
mean,
wake
I've
up.
done that one.
I wake up. I did that like 2 weeks ago when Troy just got me for that meeting.
Yeah.
And
So
remember, I
but
was like,
just
"Is it the
imagine
morning?"
being in that state of delusion, but like for an extended period of time, because after a while you realize, oh fuck, you know, it's not time to wake up.
Yeah.
But just imagine being in that state for a long time. I've had those moments where like I get fully dressed and I don't know, like it'll be like a while before I'm like, oh fuck, it's
What's
2
what?
p.m.,
What's
it's
the
2 a.m.
long? What's the most like crazy one that's happened to you?
Oh, I already mentioned it, but I think the craziest one was like when I was literally banging on my door.
Oh, that was
trying to,
the one.
Like, yeah,
And your dad was like not saying anything.
he was just chilling, but like I was trying to open my door, but like you know it's my room, like I know that I can open my own door.
I
but
thought it'd be
locked-
like more crazy, like you
Tanner
got
had
the
answer.
keys,
The fact that all this is possible means you really could kill someone in your sleep.
but you haven't though.
I haven't yet.
Not yet.
so-
It's
Not
been
yet.
22 years and you still haven't killed anyone. So you know, I'm very proud of you.
I think I should. Yeah.
I think-
I should get something for that.
Yeah, like some
sort of
a clap.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
But
for
yeah,
not killing someone in your whole lifetime.
It's what I do.
We need more people like
you might have killed someone though. like
Yeah, and I
What
wouldn't
if
know,
you just
know?
didn't know, dude?
inadvertently too though. Maybe you just like ran a red light one day and then that caused someone to like brake really hard. You didn't even see them brake hard.
I would be conscious for that though, right?
You know, this is no. I'm talking about conscious Tanner.
Oh, fuck.
Even
Yeah.
conscious Tanner has probably killed someone. Maybe
Dude, there was this one time I was driving home from school and there was a school bus in
And
front of me.
then-
And you know how when it slows down, it puts up those red stop sign flaps.
and you just
And
ran past it.
I just ran right past it because I was feeling really sick that day and I wasn't really paying attention to the road. I probably shouldn't have been driving at this point because I was just dozing off. And
almost
then I got past it and then I was like, oh fuck. And then I just literally stopped in the middle of the road for like a moment. I was like, fuck, I could have killed a kid and that really fucked me up for a little bit.
Oh my gosh! What?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, kind of the same story. I did. I think I was like 17, 18. So this was actually pretty close. And I was driving my dad's car one day, and there was that same school bus, and it's on a bridge, and I was speeding, going like 80, 90 on like
Holy fuck.
on the town roads, and it did the sign. And this is a kind of like, it's kind of crazy that it's like on a busy kind of like intersection that it would stop on this
Then
bridge,
just dropping off kids on the middle
on
of the
this
intersection.
bridge, and I'm speeding past, and then it follows behind me, and I brake really hard to beat this light because it's a stoplight and I couldn't run it,
Okay.
and the bus pressed the brakes down really hard and skidded a little bit, and then it kind of like turned over and flipped.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, bro, I was nothing like my story. You fucking killed kids.
Oh, that was so good. Oh,
I was gonna keep going like, and then I looked back and I'm like, oh shit, and just kept driving.
Put on my shades, just kept driving.
Yeah, and then I went to the mall and got some Chipotle.
Yeah.
okay. Now I believe it because of that last part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would get Chipotle after a crazy event like that.
After murdering kids.
And no one ever knew whatever happened to that bus. And we made sure of that. But yeah, I think we got a good long podcast this episode. It's about 1 hour and 26 minutes.
Oh crap.
I think
That is a long time.
we definitely dove deeper than I was anticipating, which is very good.
I think that was good.
I think we all did a good job. I think Tanner, really applauding you for actually trying to engage in emotion talk, even though
I
you haven't
enjoyed
really
that.
felt it in such ever. I think, right?
It's the first
I feel it
time.
all the time.
First
I feel
time,
it all
first
the time.
time.
First time.
Hey,
First time.
Is it even cold out?
It's so cold out.
But yeah, so yeah,
You have any
also
announcements?
got a new logo that is right here. That was created by a good friend of mine named Jamie. Her Instagram is at artby.jam. Check her out. You show her some love. It's a very nice logo, I think. All done by herself. Also, we are still on Spotify. Definitely check us out there. We do our best, and be sure to look out for us every Wednesday.
Yeah. Just to reiterate about our .5 episodes, they may or may not happen, but they just like if they happen, they happen, and they could happen anytime during the week. So if you guys were wondering, why wasn't there a 7.5 if that was the previous one? It's just because it's Thanksgiving weekend.
Bonus points.
It's bonus points. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. Troy, any announcements?
No.
All right, then. I guess it's about
All
that
right,
time.
it's about that time. Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye, man.
Bye.